Alright, so this is going to be our first go at it. Alright, go ahead, Ben. Boo!
What's up? I'm Mitch Saxby. This is my 2011 Subaru WRX, and I just got these Hello 500 driving lamp kits from Rally Innovations with the light bar as well with it as the kit. And today we'll just be showing you how to install it, get those on. Pretty cool. Alright, first things first, make sure you disconnect the battery because that's really important.
So I'm just soldering the positive, or attempting to solder the positive leads for the lights.
The black wire.
Yeah. So in this case, the black wire is actually the power going to the lights, and then blue is going to be your ground. So if you don't have access to a soldering iron, they also include these little crimp connectors. I mean, you can use these, they're not going to be as good of a connection, but I just like soldering because I have all the stuff and it's cleaner. Cool. So we got the lights mounted here, and we have completed the wiring pretty much for these. So if you look, we have the black and the blue wires here. And the blue wire is going to be your ground. And what we've done is we've actually soldered the two blue wires from each individual light together. And then we found a ground position right here using the hood latch bolt right here. So that's where those two blues are going. And then the black leads from the lights, which are right here, they're routed all the way up to here. And then they eventually will go to this plug-in for the relay. So, and then from that, this red wire right here is your direct power line. So you're gonna attach that to your battery here. And then this is the red line has the fuse on it. And then the red line will head straight back to the plug-in for the relay as well. And then there's a blue wire that comes off of the relay, and that's gonna be your ground. And then that you can put on any ground location. We decided to put it right here with the rest of them. And then you're going to have this yellow wire. So this yellow wire is going to be the signal wire, which we're not finished yet. So this wire is going to go to the inside, and then it's going to go to your switch. And the yellow wire specifically, you can barely see them. I don't even know if the camera can pick them up. But the middle wire is going to, or this middle prong here is going to be prong number 2. And then let me see, this is number 1 on this side, and then this is number 3. So yellow goes on number 2, ground, which we'll go to in a minute, goes on number 3, and then this green wire right here that also routes into the cab goes on number 1. So what this green wire is going to do, this is the green wire with the fuse. It's going to be routed into the cab, but this is going to be your 12 volt connection. So you can connect it anywhere that has a 12 volt current. So when you turn on the ignition, it'll send the signal to the switch, therefore, you know, giving the ability to give power to the lights. So it's a little confusing. We're kind of learning as we're going along here, but we'll get back to you guys when we have everything cleaned up and everything routed. Oh, actually, before we do that, we can show you the inside real quick. I'm gonna come over here. So I don't know if you can see, but this is the green wire that we have outside, and we've routed it. You know, we've kind of tucked it in. This is still loose because we're still doing some tucking, but this is the green wire from the outside, and then this wire right here, this blue wire, is a ground that here, let me see if I can lift this up. So we've attached this blue ground wire right here, just so it grounds out the switch. And that's what we decided to go with right there. And then the yellow wire that I was talking about earlier is right here. So unfortunately it's not long enough to get to the switch, which we're going to be mounting up here. So we're going to actually add wire to this to help extend it and reach the point to where the switch is going to be. So yeah, we'll get back to you guys later when we have it all, you know, pretty much ready to go. All right, so if you can remember the green wire that we had out here, we've actually gone ahead and relocated that on the inside of the car where there is a 12-volt power source through one of the charging ports in the center console. Right here is the charging port. It's kind of like a cigarette lighter, you know, 12-volt port, and that's going to be your power supply for this green wire here. And the power is going to be the yellow and white for this car, and then the ground is going to be the black. So we tapped in to the yellow and white to get our power, and then we kept the fuse obviously, and then all of the wires that we will need to attach to the switch are right here. So this blue one is the ground, which grounds out right here, and then this black wire actually is the yellow wire leading from the engine bay into the car. We just had to extend it, so we used some black wire, but this is the yellow that you'll need, and then this is the green that we connected to the power source right here. So like I said earlier, you're gonna want the yellow, which is this guy right here, which is our black wire in this situation. This is going to be port number 2, so the middle. This blue wire is going to be port number 3, and then this green wire is going to be port number 1, and that's all on the switch. They have little numbers on the switch, and the camera won't pick it up, but
they're right next to the posts.
Yeah, they're right next to these little prongs here, and you'll be able to see them when you have the switch in your hand. So yeah. All right, so this is going to be our first go at it. All right, go ahead, Ben. Boo! We got him. So right now, the key is in the ignition on the on position, and then he's just flipping on and off that switch inside. So the lights will only work if the key is in the on position. That's why we chose the 12-volt source in here.
So if I go off right here,
and if you turn the ignition off, it's off.
I can toggle the switch.
And you can toggle the switch all day, but the lights will not turn on because that 12-volt power source is not powering the lights. All right, so pretty much the only wire now that you can see is this positive coming off of the battery, but we kind of, you know, implemented all of the wires and kind of cleaned it up, making it look nice and clean. This is going to be the relay here, and then the plug, and that's that blue ground that we saw earlier. Kind of loomed everything together, and this is that yellow wire that we wrapped in electrical tape, and we ran underneath the cowl, and then came in to the cab through this little hole here where I believe the part of the harness goes into the passenger footwell. And yeah, I mean, here, let's see if it all, I mean, we haven't tested it since we cleaned it up, but might as well try one more time, right?
After cutting like 30 wires and then soldering them and then electrical taping them and then looming them and then heat shrinking them and then soldering them and then reattaching them. Yeah.
So here's the inside, here's what it looks like. We pretty much cleaned everything up. You can't see any wires at all, which is what we were going for. We wanted the clean look, and there's a little switch there. So go ahead and switch her on. And remember, the key has to be in the ignition now. We wired that.
The key
Properly. So yeah, everything worked out perfectly. It looks really good. So this is just headlights. Headlights alone. Now turn on the. Woo! Wow. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Jeez, bro. Is it noticeable? Like definitely noticeable, huh?
Yeah.
Turn it back on. They're really bright. So it kind of took a while, only because we're not really experienced with electrical work. But it's definitely something that, you know, your average person with some automotive knowledge can actually do themselves. And just, you know, just take your time, make sure you do everything neat. And if you have the option to use a soldering iron, definitely recommend that instead of using the little crimp connectors, because I can only imagine how messy that would have looked if we were to use the crimp connectors. But yeah, I was pretty satisfied with it. It was
It looks awesome.
It's really cool when you do something and it like works. So
Especially the first time.
yeah, we had no problems the entire time. So it was really cool. So smooth install. I mean, like I said, if you have a round knowledge of cars and you know how electricity works, like the basics of it, you should be able to get it done no problem. But thank you for watching. Hopefully it was helpful and kind of just a short video. I mean, it's not like too labor intensive. It just takes a lot of time. So I mean, I guess it is kind of labor intensive, but it doesn't really take a lot of knowledge. You know what I mean? Anybody can really do it. So I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more of our content, and make sure to comment as well if you have any thoughts on the video. And if you want to, you can follow us on Instagram. Probably put it like right here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Boy, please stop.